Hello Chalk School of Movement online parkour program. Welcome to this week's session. We're going to begin with a warm-up. This is a warm-up you can do at home. It doesn't require any equipment. So let's begin. Let's jump right into it. And with this, it's going to take about 10 minutes, if all goes as planned. And you can feel free to do it with me if you have a laptop and some room and you can just stay live and go. Awesome. Or you can watch through it, take note of what I'm doing, and then do it after at your own pace. And if this is too easy, if you're a little more advanced, feel free to add more reps or just do the exact workout a few times, 2 or 3 times. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is 15 jumping jacks. Alright, let's go straight down into 5 push-ups. And always remember, if you have trouble with push-ups, feel free to go to your knees and do them that way. Alright, let's stand up and let's do 15 seal jacks. That's feet out, hands out, feet in, hands in. 15. I'm starting to break out from your grave. See, I finally opened up my eyes. Alright, so we're going to do what's called quadrupedal movement. That's where you crawl on or block on all 4 limbs, hands and feet. And we're going to begin by doing it forwards to backwards. So get down on your hands and knees, crawl forward, and then move backwards. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds here. Alright, let's move on. We're going to do some tuck jumps. So that's jumping as high as we can and tucking our legs up in the air. Let's do 5 of those. The future is now, not backing down. 'Cause the future is now. Alright. Now we're going to go back into that quadrupedal movement that we had just done earlier. But instead of going front to back, we're going to go side to side. Here we go. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds as well. Alright, then we're going to do some precision jump practicing. For this, I'd recommend finding a spot on the ground. For me, it's going to be this dark spot right here. Stand in that spot, and we're going to jump forwards, and then back. Trying to land back on that spot. Then we're going to jump to the side, and then back. We're going to jump back, and then forwards, to the other side, and then back, making a full circle around that area. Now let's do that 5 times. And this isn't as much about speed as it is about accuracy. Five, I think. Maybe that was 4. Anyways, we'll call that good. That's a great movement to work on accuracy with precision jumping and to build up some cardio strength. Let's move on now. We're going to do a side plank, but with a twist. Not a literal twist. So enter your side plank, but then the foot that's up, you're going to be on just that foot, and your other foot, you're going to bring it back, and then bring it and then bring it back, and then bring it in front. and this works on core strength, and it actually is a pretty good help for the safety vault. The safety vault is very similar to this motion. So side plank, we'll bring our foot forward 10 times, slowly and accurately. Let's go 7 times. 7 times going forward. All right, switch. So bring that outside foot or the upper foot on top.
I'm so sorry to hear that you crashed falling alone now. Do you believe it is?
All right, let's do 5 push-ups while we're down here. All right, let's stand back up and let's do some scissor jumps. So that's going to be on a 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We're going to jump up and switch that. Let's do this for about 30 seconds. Here we go. Perfect. Let's do a bridge pose. Kind of working on core muscles also. Great on our back. And there's multiple levels to this one. I'm going to be about the middle level. The first level, lay down, bring the feet in, and just lift the hips. It's a great exercise, great stretch, great to do. If you're comfortable with that, you can bring your hands down and enter up a little bit with your head still on the ground. If you can do that, feel free to enter a full-blown bridge. I cannot do them very well. So I'm going to stay right here. We'll hold this for a little bit. While we're down here, we're going to do some Kong vaults on the ground. So that's going to be hand will reach out, feet will jump through. Reach out, jump through. See if you can do about 5 or 7 of those in your environment. All right. That's all I got. For a fabulous warm-up, I'm feeling plenty warmed up. I hope you are as well. If for some reason you're not, if you're in ultra good shape, feel free to do that another time, or even 2 more times, and add more reps to every movement that we do. Let's end with a nice cool down. Cool down is a very important step in the warm-up process in which we're going to be doing some stretching. I've moved to some carpeted flooring. You can do this on concrete or rocks, wherever you're at. But if you have carpet, it's usually a little bit more comfortable. Let's begin. We'll put one leg straight out, bring the other in. We'll get a dual leg stretch here. We'll hold this for about 10 seconds. All right, let's switch legs. We'll go for another 10 seconds. All right, let's put both legs or both feet touching. Bring them in, we'll do the butterfly stretch. Feel free to use your elbows to push down on your legs as much as is comfortable. You can also grab onto your feet. We'll hold this for about 10 seconds. We're gonna do some standing up stretching drills that also work on balance. For the first one, we're gonna stand on our right leg, take our left leg behind, grab not the ankle, but the shin, and that's to protect the ankle. We're just gonna stretch the quadricep and the hip flexor for 10 seconds. Take that same leg, don't touch it down if you can, and then bring it into the chest and give it a hug. Hold this for about 10 seconds. This is definitely a balanced workout as well as a good stretch. And then you're gonna take your right hand, grab that left leg, again by about the shin bone, not the ankle. Pull it up towards your right side while keeping your knee out to the left. We're gonna hold this for 10 seconds. All right, switch legs. Bring it back. All right, hug that leg in towards the chest. And then grab the left hand around the right shin and do a little cross-legged in the air with the knee out to the right. All right, both feet back on the ground. Well, we're feeling good and balanced. Let's do some 360s. We'll do 3 to the left, 3 to the right. I recommend doing 1 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Here we go. All right, wonderful. I think that's our warm-up. Let's move on. All right, not officially a part of our warm-up, but always a good skill to do as much as you can, whether that's every day, once a week. Handstands. So the first way that we're gonna try to do our handstands is where we're gonna have our backs against the wall. We're gonna put our hands on the ground in front of us, and we're gonna walk our feet up the wall. So if you have a nice safe wall, great. If not, skip this step. You definitely don't wanna hit any pictures or a fireplace mantle as you're doing these. So hands will go down, feet walk up, and when we're in our handstand, make sure the core is engaged and tight and that the shoulders are not sagging, but are engaged also. Hold this for a little bit. If you can, take 1 foot off the wall. Feel that balance. Try to bring 2 feet off the wall and just feel that. Then when you're ready, exit the handstand the same way you got into it. The next way we're gonna get into our handstands, I think is a little more fun. We're just gonna face the wall and do a kick up into it. Remember to be very careful not to smack your heels into the wall. So instead, when getting into this kind of a handstand and you're flipping up, make sure your feet come down flat, you catch the wall, then you can straighten out your leg. Remember, shoulders engaged, core engaged. Hold it, see if you can take 1 foot off, maybe take 2 feet off. All right, feel free to do that style handstand or the one before that as many times as you need to feel comfortable, and try standing in the handstand position as long as you can to build strength for handstands. If these have gone well so far, let's move on to some open floor handstands without anything to support us. These are fun. Make sure you have a safe area to practice these, whether it's a grass lawn, a carpeted floor, something with nothing sharp or hard around you. So here we go. Before we get too involved in the handstands, we're going to practice some kick-ups. just in the open ground. So we're going to put our hands down in front of us and just, we're going to step 1 foot back, and then we're going to kick up that leg, and you'll see the other leg sometimes follows, usually. If it doesn't follow, kick a little harder, and pick that leg up. Those are a great way to enter into a handstand, but you need to be first, be sure that you can control that movement. So let's just practice about 5 of those. So before I even get into my first handstand here, I'm going to do a couple forward rolls and or somersaults. If you feel yourself going forward, you can walk a little bit or you can forward roll out. Sometimes your feet will just flop forward. Doesn't always feel good. So in that instance, I recommend doing a forward roll out of your handstand. So let's try a few. Experiment with these if you have a nice safe spot for them. Here we go. Woo! All right. Handstands are fun. Handstands are great. Practice them as often as you can and as much as you wish. They build shoulder strength, arm strength, and balance, and core strength. And they're fun to do. So, handstands. So I want everyone to remember that although it is fun to be in a gymnastics gym, parkour gym, and using the equipment that we have here, everything that we're doing here in these online sessions, you can do with little to no equipment or with the equipment that you find at home. So for the next lesson, we're going to be doing some vaulting and some jumping, and we're going to need something about hips width high, or a little bit lower is okay also. I found this old, it's a cabinet that I think is going to work great. And always make sure that what you're using, it's okay to be damaged, or that you won't damage it. Get your parents' approval. Try to keep your stuff nice and in good, usable condition. The first test that you need to make sure your object can withstand is that you can stand on it. So let's try that. Always start by giving it a good shake. Make sure it's not going to fall apart. If it seems sturdy, go ahead and try. If it works, fantastic. If it seems shaky or fragile or loose or like it's going to break, I'd recommend you don't use it. I first want to talk about some ways you can dismount an object such as this. And the most basic way is just to jump. In doing so, make sure you have a clear landing zone. That means nothing sharp, no big rocks that are going to twist an ankle. If that's the case, feel free to just jump. Don't overthink it. Nothing super complicated about it. We'll try that a few times. Stand on your object, jump down. Land it well in one position if you can. That's going well. Feel free to, and I encourage you to jump up a little bit off your object. The straight jump, just jumping off an object, can be one of the safest ways to get down, can be one of the quickest. So it's a good skill to have. From there, some fun twists you can do to that are literal twists. We can begin with the half twist. Always remember for rotation, lead with your shoulders and your head. Engage the core. Land it well. And every spin we do one way, we'll do both ways. If that goes well, we can try some 360 dismounts. But before we do a 360 off this, let's try a 360 on the flat ground. Jump up, lead with the head and the shoulders. And if that goes well, and you're feeling ready, it can be a ton of fun to do a 360 dismount off of an arm twist. So if that went well, and you're having fun with that, you can try to link it up into other moves. Linking together tricks is kind of a subtle goal of parkour. You don't want to just do one move. In a perfect world, you'll do moves every step of the way. Some moves you can try to link into would be to forward roll out of a jump. You can try to Kong vault your way up, do a Kong up, to jump down. Let's experiment. Let's see what we can come up with on this. And I encourage all of you watching to try to come up with some different and unique ways to link jumping off this into your move. If this has gone well so far, if you've found your object, if you're warmed up, if you're ready to go, let's try to do some vaults over this object. As many vaults we can do, depending on how high or how low your object is and how wide. Some of these vaults are going to be harder than the others. So if you can't do them because of your object, that's okay. Remember, improvisation and creativity is a very fun part of parkour in these programs. So do what you can with what you have. The first vault we'll start out with is a safety vault. And that would be, for example, left hand, right foot, and then you step through. The other way it'd be right hand, left foot, and you step through. So you're making kind of a horseshoe thing with your right leg, or one leg and the opposite arm, and then you're stepping through with your other foot. If you have an object that's a rectangle, experiment a little bit. See if you can turn it the long ways and do some of these vaults over it that way. We have the Kong vault, which is both hands on it, full body, or the feet then will jump through the opening. So it's almost like a speed vault, but with both arms and both feet then go through the little horseshoe shape that we make. To get into the Kong vault, some progressions, you can have both hands on your object, and you can see if you can jump up into it. Letting go as early or as late as you can. And keeping your hands attached is the goal. If you can put your hands on it, jump your feet into it, and keep your hands on it, that's great. From there, see if you can step up, jump through. Step up, jump through. Once you've done a few of those, and if your object is narrow enough, see if you can Kong vault all the way through, but from a standstill. Remember to keep your arms strong and try to push your object away from you to make as much room here as you can. If my arms are bent and timid, I don't have that much room. If I get strong, you get a lot more room. So, arms on, jump strong, through. And if that's gone well so far, we're going to move on to where we run in and we do a real Kong vault. One potential hazard with Kong vaults is that as your feet are coming through, they clip the object that you're trying to go over. Because that can be hazardous, it's very important to make sure that what is beyond what's in your landing is clear. You don't want trees, rocks, cement. You don't want any of that. I'd recommend carpet or grass. Because I am on a soft spring floor, I'll show you what clipping looks like and how it does not usually end very well. Whew! That wasn't the greatest thing ever. Good thing my landing was clear, my ground was soft, and that I knew how to do parkour rolls. Let's move on to another vault. The turn vault. It's a great one. There are going to be some situations when you're vaulting and you don't want to keep going farther. Say there was an obstacle here that I wanted to land in front of in a controlled manner, facing away from it. Still have my hands on this. The turn vault is great for that. That looks like this. It's quite similar. If you were in the class last week and you saw the palm twist, it's kind of like that, but you're vaulting and you're only doing a 180. So you are going over your object and you land right in front of your object. So to practice those, or to do them, I guess, you're going to approach, depending on what your object is, you're going to twist your arms. For this case, I'm going to have my arms straight sideways. I think that's the most efficient way. You could experiment with things such as twisting one arm and not the other. You could grab onto the edges of your object. You could put your hands both on the same side of the object. But generally, you're just doing a 180 as you're vaulting and landing it in a controlled manner. From the turn vault, and in the same realm as the palm spin, is the 360 vault. And this is not so much a practical vault that you would use in a situation to get over an object, as much as it is a stylish trick, more or less. It's a fun way to link multiple things. If you're doing multiple vaults in a row, and you don't want to do the same vault, this can be a great way to add some flair. So, to do it, just like in your turn vault, you're going to twist the arms on your object and jump, but then on the way out, you're just going to add another twist. You're not going to put your foot down like I did. That was just to slow down so I could talk. And I'll show you it slow again. Walk up, twist the arms, you're going to jump up, but then instead of landing and holding on, you're going to push off and twist. So if you've been doing those 360s, that'll help, and this is where they'll come into play. So, some 360 vaults. Here we go. Lest we not forget the lazy vault. The lazy vault is going to be hard on a wide object. Ideally, you're on a railing or something more narrow. But I don't think I have one of those. So we're going to do it on this. Improvise. Per usual. So that's going to begin with your, depending on what side of your body the object is on. For me, it's on my left. So I'm going to put my left hand on it, step up my left foot, and then it's going to be a quick motion where I'm jumping and then swinging up the right foot and then catching on the right arm. So if it's on my right side, it's just the reverse of that. Right side first, then the left. And so you start and end right next to your object. Looks something like this. So practice these vaults as much as you can and experiment in the object that you're vaulting over. Try to find as many things you can vault over as you can. And remember, if it's a little higher than it should be or a little lower, perfect is about hips height. So this one is pretty low for me, but it still worked just fine. And if I had one that was a little high, it would still work just fine. So find what you can and have some fun with it. Vaults are a great way to link maneuvers. So we've done some jumping and landing, we've done some spinning, and we've done some vaulting. Let's now see if we can link these moves together. Be creative. Try to come up with some cool and exciting lines where you link up multiple moves. You can link them together by doing a parkour roll, by doing a stride, or a precision jump, to name a few, between two maneuvers. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on this parkour session. I hope you can all find locations to do these activities and the time to do them. It's a great way to keep your parkour skills up and just to stay in shape in general. A lot of the skills we do here translate to other sports, other activities, and are just a lot of fun to do. So just because we're not in the gym does not mean we cannot do parkour. Be creative, find your own locations to do them. Stay safe, practice social distancing and all those guidelines. And we'll be back soon in the gym with sessions going on. So I hope to see you all soon. Take care.